The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
Welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am your host, Andres Quintana, here in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And I am so excited today because we have another episode of eAssist number 25. Could you believe it? So we have had a string of very, very awesome episodes. And in fact, we had Dr. Quintana, who won an award of the new Top Dentist Award issued by Sarah Mickelson, and she is an amazing talent manager and HR person at eAssist that, by the way, when she gave me the news and I told Dr. Quintana, she was so excited. But on to tonight's program, we just want to remind that eAssist also has won the Inc. 500 list of fastest growing private companies in America for the second year in a row. So I won't delay any longer because on the line, I have someone very special and her name is Lindsay Salazar. Lindsay, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. How are you doing, Andreas?
Oh, I am doing so great. You know, you can't go by me though, because I am always great. I'm always positive, and even better because it has been in the 70s here in the Raleigh area of North Carolina. But I understand, but you are in a beautiful state, and I'm going to be going to Utah when we go to Summit this summer, which is August, right? Am I going to see you again?
You will. I will be there.
That's great.
It'll be wonderful.
Excellent. Yes. So you are an account executive with eAssist. I would like for you to tell our audience a little bit more about yourself.
I am a single mom of 3 kids, and I am from Utah, like you said. Right now we are enjoying a bunch of snow. And I say enjoying it because I'm enjoying it from the inside of my home, not driving around in it.
Right.
But I've been in the dental field since 1999, and I have grown through the years with dental, and I love it. I have experience in all aspects of the office, from dental assisting all the way to the front desk. It's been good to me and my family for sure.
So as I call some of my team members, you are a dental superstar, I believe.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. There's always room for growth, though, I have learned. There always is. It's an ever-changing field of dentistry.
You are so right about that. So we are going to dive into the topic of why eAssist does what they do. And eAssist Dental Solutions, they're just here so that you can collect more and you can produce more and collect what you produce. And then in addition to that, when all of that is happening, which is, what we do, then you can motivate your staff better because everyone is happier in the office. So
right.
The other thing I'll share about that is that Dr. Anderson, who thought of the company, had some of those same issues. He had issues with accounts receivables, and he put a stop to it. And you know Dr. Anderson really well. Is that something that really happened with him?
Yeah, it was amazing to watch the office, the practices just really take a better turn. When you can take your front desk from having a phone constantly to their ear because they were working with insurances to being able to, greet patients, communicate with them, and build a relationship. Your number one advertisement is word of mouth. And if you can develop that relationship with your staff and your patients, that's what's going to get the word out. It's not going to be because they're hiding behind a telephone, dealing with an insurance, trying to get breakdown of benefits, entering fee schedules, all those things that are distracting that takes away from that communication development with your patients and your staff. That's what makes your practice grow, and what I like to call is increase your cash flow.
Yes. That is also true because I used to observe the staff, and whenever the team was having a bad day, it usually had to do with the paperwork, the insurance claims, the things, being frustrated, being on hold. And if I was noticing it, do you think the patients would walk by and notice the frustration on people's faces?
Sure. And they obviously don't know it has nothing to do with them, but they can also feel that in the air. And that's not fun. When you go into your dental office, you want to feel greeted. You want to feel noticed. You want to feel like you're not on a number belt, that you are part of that family and the relationship. When I was a dental assistant, I absolutely had wonderful relationships with a lot of our patients. And still to this day, I have personal contact information from some of the patients I was a dental assistant with. And we meet together for lunch, and I got to develop those lifelong relationships with some of these patients because I could be present with them.
That is so true. And you reminded me and brought up just an awesome point that I just want to zero in on, because we talked about a patient coming in and, watching the expression, on someone's face when they're frustrated. Sure. And it may have to do with insurance claims, right? But people are human. They don't know. They might think you're taking it out on them. That's right. That's something where I've gone into places where I see people upset, and sometimes I'm trying to figure out, are they upset with me? It may not have anything to do with me, but I'm human, and I don't want you to be upset with me. I want to be okay with you. I want to be okay in your book.
Right.
So. Right.
I need a friend. Everyone needs a friend or two.
Yes. And you just reminded me of this. That was an excellent point. So I want to ask you now, how did you find eAssist, or did eAssist find you? How did it happen?
Well, I was working in a dental office with Dr. Anderson and Sandy, and I got to see eAssist grow from the bottom up. And it's been awesome over the years, going from being a dental assistant in the office and working in the front desk to being part of the eAssist team. So that's how I became part of eAssist. Is I got to watch it and see it grow. And then when it came time for me to jump onto that side of the team, it was awesome.
Wow. For all the eAssisters out there, you know exactly what we're talking about when we talk about being able to play every role in the practice. But for the people listening for the first time, I just want you to go to eAssist.com or dentalbilling.com and just get familiar with our website and see some of the products that we offer. And there's even you might get a message screen that you can send us a message, and someone in our sales team and customer relations will get right back to you. But Lindsay, I have so many questions for you, because I think this is going to be a fun and very informative show. So, it takes a lot of times to do insurance and schedule the appointments right for the doctors, because doctors like really good and productive schedules. There's almost seems not to be enough time to do it all. What is really the most important thing for teams to be successful in a practice?
My rule of thumb when I'm communicating with doctors is that there's three things that are a priority: a full schedule, collecting at the time of service, and confirming appointments. That's what takes care of your overhead. That's what takes care of your staff. And of course, that's what keeps you moving forward each day. And to be able to do those things, you cannot spend the time behind the phone. Calling insurances, you can't send it behind the computer, just entering insurance payments. Those things all take a lot of time. And if you're constantly stuck there, you're not building the relationships with your patients. You're not on the phone calling people to remind them they're due for a cleaning, to be able to fill your schedule. And so the more that the staff can be actually present in the office, the more productive that office is going to be. And it's been proven over and over through the years as I've been in the dental world, and as I've been working with eAssist. This is true to the date. I've seen offices join in, and constant doctors will just rave at how they cannot believe it really does work. And it's been really neat to be part of that. I thoroughly love being part of something bigger myself. And as I've gotten to work with doctors across the U.S., I've been able to be part of their team and their family. I'm one of those people that I really love to develop friendships, not just work-based friendships, but friendships of what do we have in common? What can I catch up with you on about? How can I help you feel more comfortable to communicate with me so that we can grow together? I've always found that I can learn from anybody, and I'm sure you're the same way too. As you develop friendships, you constantly are growing and learning off of each other. But that's what makes the dream and the team work, is when you have that compatibility and you both are on the same goal and that plane line to develop and grow, and to get that personal reward just from knowing we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
You are just on fire tonight, because you brought up you brought up a list of things of what it takes to be successful in the dental office, right? And you give me an idea for coming up with like a list of the top, let's say the top 5 reasons of why to outsource dental claims. I think you and I need to develop that list and publish it out as a blog post or some kind of, template, and maybe show it to Dr. Anderson, or even include it in one of our future episodes. But the top 5 reasons to outsource dental claims, we have to come up with that. Sure. And and the other thing, I want to thank you for what you said, because it resonated with me. That you and I are very much alike in the relationship building. That you're exactly right. When patients come into the office, one of the things that I do, and it just comes natural. It's not something that I'm not making it up. I've got plenty of things to do. I gave you a little bit of my background when we were chatting before the show. And I'm really busy. I'm doing podcasting. I'm doing consulting. I'm very busy, but I still go out into the waiting room and I give patients a hug, ask about their families, and I connect with people. And I'm very involved in the community here in Wake Forest. And when I get out into the community and when I'm networking, everybody knows my name. So is there a coincidence between the two? I don't think so. So if a doctor was to start a practice today and you want to be successful, for all doctors listening out there, what you have to do is you have to let your people connect with your patients, because your patients are those possible small businesses in the community. And it almost becomes a networking opportunity for you without even noticing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. And my biggest, I would say if a doctor's starting up a new practice and they're really looking to see how, what's the process to be heard of, beneficial to the community and so forth, is yes, be involved first of all, but make sure your staff is able to be present. Like I talked about earlier, is to be able to be there and to be able to say hi to them when they walk in the door, ask them how their family is, catch up. If you can build that true one-on-one relationship, not false, but a true relationship, that's going to be the word of mouth that continues to keep your doors open.
Absolutely. I think you are so right. And we've given so many nuggets, because I think that if I was an office, a manager or a doctor, I would rather have my lead employee going out into the community, doing maybe some networking with the Chamber of Commerce, than being stuck in a room doing dental claims. And I know that you might agree with that. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. The dental claims, submitting of claims, posting insurance payments, calling it an insurance verification, all those things, that's busy work. There's no time in that, in a 40-hour week, to be able to also build rapport with your patients. And something's going to lack somewhere. And so by giving eAssist the opportunity to take that off your hands and being able to put your qualified employees out in the rooms with the patient, visiting other offices or whatever things are going on in your community, that's a representation of who you are and what you stand for. And that's how your name will get out.
That's a very good point. I wanted to ask you if you came in contact with a dental assistant or someone who works at the front desk, and they asked you, "Hey, how can I join that awesome organization that you work for at eAssist?" What would you tell them? How would someone join eAssist?
Well, you can get online and you can look us up and fill out the application that way. If I meet somebody, I will give them a direct contact of who to communicate with, and then that person will step them through the process of how to join eAssist team. It's definitely an opportunity. I have a lifelong friendship through eAssist. The ladies I've been able to work with on different offices. Mm-hmm. You communicate with each other, you feed off of each other, you work together with the office manager and the doctor, and it just builds, this is, for me, this is my lifeline, right? This is my income. And so I respect and I value those relationships I've built with the different eAssisters because I truly value their knowledge and I want to grow and learn as much as I can so I can be more valuable to anybody's office that I work for, but also to my own personal gratification of continuing educating myself. I find it's very important to continue to grow. That's something I thrive off of. So it's awesome to be part of eAssist team. I mean, truly, if I don't know it, I can just send a message out to a group of people and someone's going to know it. And right within then, across the U.S., I've received 2 or 3 different viewpoints that are all very knowledgeable and right. I just now have options of what's going to work best for this office. And so it's just one big brain that you get to be a part of, and it's amazing.
You are truly on fire tonight because I was just going to mention that. I've done 25 of these interviews, and I've had, I would say about 70% of the interviews that topic has come up with, where if you don't know something, you've got 349 more eAssisters out there that will have the answer for you. And I just found out from Sarah that we do have about 350 employees, amazing team members working from home, constantly fixing and producing for doctors.
It's wonderful. It's really, really neat. You do have to be self-disciplined and you have to be organized and you have to continue to be willing to grow and to ask questions among those you work with to continue to stay up to the pace, because there's a lot of achievers in this group of women, and it's thriving, it's driving, it's gratifying to be part of it.
I'll tell you a little story. When I had a question for one of the ladies that does our office, right? And I believe I was going in NC State University where I teach part-time, and I was in the car, and it just occurred to me that it was 8:00. And I wanted to ask her a question. So I dialed the number and she answers the phone. And what I forgot is that she's all the way in California and I'm on the East Coast. And I said, Lorena, I am so sorry. And she says, oh, no, don't worry. I've been working on your claims for about an hour. That had to be 4:00 already that she's working on claims. That is amazing, amazing dedication by eAssisters. Yes.
It is.
So
we truly value and appreciate the opportunity we have to be part of such an elite group of people.
Yeah. And I know I should have been smarter about that, but it gave me an opportunity. Things happen for a reason.
Right.
And it gave me an opportunity to run into that scenario where she was working from the middle of the night. And that was incredible. So, Lindsay, at the end of the day, this is a 2-part question. So at the end of the day, you have helped a dental office be successful. So first, I want to know how that feels to you when you achieve success with a dental office, and then a little story about a successful situation that you have achieved. But you don't have to name the office or anything like that. But if you can give me a little bit of both, that would be awesome.
So at the end of the day, when I've helped a dental office, when I'm a very dishonest person, and I find it very rewarding to put in a good, honest day's work. And that's just me at the end of the day. If my day ends at 6 or if my day ends at 3 in the morning, I just know I've done what I've needed to and what's been asked of me. And I know how that's going to help somebody else. And that's where I get the personal gratification from. I enjoy knowing that my knowledge and work ethic is benefiting somebody else and that it's going to continue to benefit multiple people. It strings down not just the doctor, but the front office manager or the front desk people or even the patient. If they have to be less involved with getting their insurance to pay a claim or to understand their benefits, or if a front desk member doesn't really quite understand a lot of the dental terminology, I can help educate them. And just sharing my own personal knowledge just makes me feel good that everything I'm gaining is also benefiting other people. A story. I have a couple of really good stories. one time I was on the phone with a representative, and I used two acronyms. One was PPO, and the other one was UCR. And the gentleman that was on the phone with me, he said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you're asking. You've used too many acronyms." And I was blown away, because that is what we truly are dealing with a lot of times as representatives on the insurance side, that they really don't understand what they are doing. And I'm coaching them on what they need to look for on their side to get the answer that I need. Now, I know a lot of offices hire people in office to help do those things, but if they're not truly knowledgeable and understanding that you can't just take the word for what the representative is saying, and they don't ask the right questions, they're not going to get the right answer, and therefore they're probably just going to end up writing off and losing money for the doctor. So to me, that's a success story as far as understanding what right questions need to be asked when you do call an insurance, and be able to go the extra mile to get the answer that you know you're after. But it does take years of education and knowledge to know what you're speaking after, because you could just take the word of a representative and think that's really what the answer is, or you can dig a little bit further and find out they were off their rocker. So that's a fun story for me, is when I talk about the insurance representatives and how I'm coaching them a lot on what their job should be.
That's great. Oh, that's a good story. That's a good story. So this has been an awesome interview. I just want to, if somebody is just joining us, if you want to go to eAssist.com or dentalbilling.com. In fact, I will give you the phone number here. I'm just so excited. I have to ask Michelle if she's getting some phone calls out there, but it's 1-844-327-7478. Lindsay, I have another question, because we have the dental teams, the office managers. Most of what we're doing is we're taking care of the doctors here, and they deserve it. But this question is really dedicated to the office managers that work so hard, and they're such a big part of the entire collections process in the office. And so what tends to happen is that when they take time off, when they take vacation, just the situation and the process shuts down, and things don't seem to flow that well.
Correct.
How do you think, in your role with eAssist, how do you think you have a positive impact on that situation flowing better?
Right. Well, that's the one great thing, is the money doesn't stop coming in just because the office manager takes time off. A lot of times, offices, like you said, have an office manager. They submit their dental claims with the correct narratives, with the correct attachments, and they know some insurances don't accept attachments. Some insurances you can't send electronically. You have to send their claims via mail. And so when you have someone out of town, those things all kind of tend to stop. And the thoroughness, when she comes back, who's going to check up on that? You want to hope that you trust your office manager that she is doing those things, that she is being accountable, following back on, while she was gone, did the staff do this? Did they make sure that was done? And that's just a hopeful thinking, right? But when you have eAssist on your side, those things are being done. Your claims are still being submitted daily with the correct information needed, with the correct attachments, either sent electronically or via mail, just depending on the insurance. Checks are still being scanned in and deposited by the eAssist team. So your money is still coming in. And that is such a reliable aspect for dentists to know no ball is getting dropped. It's a comfort for them to know if I take time off, it's not going to totally kill my office, because they can still be, working in the background and make sure my claims are getting paid. eAssist is doing all those things. It doesn't just mean the doors are shut and no one's working. Those claims are still being worked that are unpaid by the account manager. So there's so many wonderful benefits, but also a mental reassurance for these dentists that are part of eAssist, because they know what they don't know is still being handled. A lot of them don't understand the business aspect. They just hope that their office manager does, that they hope their office manager knows what to be following up on, that she is sending out statements after claims have come in and been paid and there's a patient balance. And after a long day, no dentist wants to now sit down and have an hour meeting reviewing accounts with an office manager, right? They want to get home. They want to go enjoy the benefits of their long working days with their families. But when you have eAssist on your team, whether it's them sending the statements for you, you know money's coming in, whether it's the office, the claims being posted, the EOBs being posted with the claims getting paid, you know there's a check going into your bank account. And claims unpaid, you know with eAssist, those are being called on regularly, being followed up, and making sure that if a patient needs to come back to say for an x-ray, the office is being told that they're coming in, that claim is now getting paid. So it's such a benefit to have eAssist on your team because number one, it brings you that reassurance that what you don't know is still being done.
Amazing. I could not have done it better. You were truly on fire. So you've heard it. For anyone listening out there, if you have issues with money that patients owe going through the roof or insurance money owed, if you feel like you have a team that does not have enough time to do it all and they're showing it through their emotions and energy, if you have one staff member that's a superstar and is in charge of everything, that's a good reason to have eAssist. And if patients are leaving your practice, that is another excellent reason to go with eAssist. And I know that all of those reasons are happening in offices every single day. Lindsay, you have been amazing. I want to thank you for your time and your expertise tonight. We're ready to say goodbye to our audience, so I'll give you a chance to say goodbye to everyone.
Thanks for listening in. Look up eAssist. It's wonderful.
Thank you, everybody, and I want to wish you a very good week.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.